Welcome. My name is Michael. I own and operate a family business in landscaping as far as landscaping. And the purpose of today's video is to demonstrate to you how you can utilize your price lists in your estimating software such as LMN or Synced Up, Dynascape, etc. to keep an updated list of SKUs from your vendors so that they are easily accessible when you're creating estimates, but more importantly, that you can relatively easily update SKUs pricing from year to year. Now, there are some workarounds in this, and word of caution that you can break things if you're not paying attention. However, in LMN system, you can simply just roll back your imports and go back to where you were. Okay. Now, on the left, you'll see LMN price list. On the right, you'll see a spreadsheet from my plant supplier. Now, candidly, my plant supplier spreadsheet is one of the easiest imports that I can do from all the vendors that I have. And the reason is because as you see it here is as it goes in. So here is what they send me. They send me this one. And with all these columns that I frankly don't need. So using ChatGPT, I cleaned it up, took out all the columns I don't need, and changed the category name, the column names to be the ones that LMN needs. Now, a lot of descriptions were very long, and I was getting an error when I was importing it. And I talked to tech support, and they said, well, here's the document to follow. And in the document, one of the key errors is that if description is over 255 characters, it will not import that SKU. And that is what happened. So I sent this back into ChatGPT and said, summarize all the descriptions so that they are less than 255 characters. And that's what it did. And you'll see, instead of a run-on sentence for bloom time, it just did bloom time spring. And it did whatever it needed to keep it. Now, interestingly enough, some items didn't even have descriptions. So then I said again to ChatGPT, for any line that doesn't have a description, please make one for it. And then it went ahead and did that too. And there's a lot of data in this sheet, and it's also got access to the internet. So it knew how to do that very well. Now, third issue that I discovered during some of my earlier imports is that I had SKUs from 2024, 2023, 2022 that were not in this new price list. And the reason I knew that is because in this spreadsheet, I have changed the units. I used to have them show pieces. So for example, let me find one of the categories, trees. I had used pieces as units. Now for simplicity, I'm taking that out because that was it requires work to change things to that. It used to be done manually in spreadsheet in Excel, and now ChatGPT could do it, but I'm just putting it back to where it was. I'm fine with the defaults. So I would see that some said pieces, so I would know if I click on it, I know, oh, it was last updated 2022. Where is it? I called my supplier, and they said, well, we don't have that SKU for this year, but it's not fully discontinued because discontinued items come here where they're fully discontinued. So for now, if the item is missing from the spreadsheet, I am simply going to remove it. If in 2026 they add the SKU back in, then it will simply just import that item back into the price sheet. Why did I make this decision? Because candidly, I do not want to use any SKUs in my estimates that the vendor is not going to fulfill, because all that's going to happen is when I send that purchase order in, they are then going to say, hey, we need to substitute this. And then I got to deal with a substitute. And me, fairly detail oriented, when I finish an estimate in LMN and I export it to a customer proposal and they sign it, we actually show the plants under that work area to the customer on the proposal so they know exactly what sizes we're getting. All right, so if they ever question the sizes we install, they just go back to the proposal, they can look at the label on site, they should match. If they don't match, then it's up to us to A, give them a refund for any money we didn't spend on plants, or two, I may have just bought bigger plants that I didn't contract with the customer, and therefore I'm going to, quote, lose money, okay? But that same customer proposal in LMN gets exported to purchase orders and work orders. So my supplier gets the same plant from me. My crew sees the same plant from me. My design sees the same plant. So I want continuity all throughout because it's very easy to make mistakes in sales, estimating, project management, and without a proper paper trail, it's very hard to catch mistakes later on. Often it's too late. You spent the money, you lost the money, and then you maybe figure it out. And in my opinion, that's not a way to run a business. So I'm going to run you through this process of how I do all of this now. I've already done the first three categories, so I'm going to do trees, okay? So this list, like I said, is already ready, but I got to export it into a CSV. So we are going to go ahead and do that now. And I will come back when I'm at the right. All right, just for confidentiality there. So we're going to go to CSV, and we are going to make one called trees. It's going to export that page for me. And we're going to open that up to make sure it's good. Awesome. Everything is there. We're going to go back to LMN. We're going to choose that file. Okay. It's going to do its thing and import that file. It may take a while. LMN used to have an issue with limiting things to 500 lines. So when I used to do this in the past, I'll have to cut pages off and make new pages and have them 500 items at a time. What a pain that was. Now with the advent of ChatGPT, that would be a task given to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT would do a very fine job of it. So I am thankful that ChatGPT is available to me and that LMN has gotten improvements to the software to make this import-export process easy. All right, I'm going to come back when this import is finished. All right, so that import's done. When you import, LMN does something funny where you're on that category still, but it shows you the any category. So you just got to switch off that category and go back to it. So if I've done this correct, I should now see for today's date that these items have been updated, okay? So, and I can see that is the case. However, there's going to be a few, like this one, for example, that says last year. So now I can see that this SKU didn't match any SKUs from the new list. And so now we got to deal with getting these items out. Again, I don't want to be building an estimate and about to add an old SKU when I should be using the new SKU, okay? Because all that's going to happen is I'm going to send this to my vendor. They're going to be like, oh, we don't have that one. We're going to use this one instead. Then I got to go back to my estimate, change it out. And if I don't have it in the system already, I got to add it. And then if I've already printed workout orders, which is very likely for plants because you might not see this issue until you order plants. Now I got to reprint that work order, send it back to the guys, make sure there's no confusion. So I need to deal with this now. So here's how I have been dealing with it. I am now going to export this category of trees. Okay. I'm going to make a tree cleanup folder for this. I want to keep everything organized. I'm going to rename this trees uncleaned. Got that item. I'm going to go my folders here. Open up the tree cleanup folder or file, sorry. Move this over. Okay, so now you're going to see the way that LMN exports. Now, LMN has exported everything here, okay? So, here's what we're going to do. We're now going to use ChatGPT, okay, to help me clean this up. So, let's go to ChatGPT. We are going to go to the one that I was working on. We're going to add that file. And we're going to grab my prompt. So, my prompt. For items last updated in 2025, update their units to each. So the ones that say pieces is going to remove the each. I want to clean that up. For items updated before 2025, add a new column called category and make them discontinued. For whatever reason, LMN does not export the category that they're in. And it's something to do with the software, the way they handle updated items. As soon as this step is done, I'm going to show you what issue happens with that and how we're going to fix that also, okay? I wish it could just be handled here, but it's not. And LMN, if you're seeing this, please fix that. So, and then give me the file back in a CSV. All right. Just need to add that in there. All right, let ChatGPT do its thing. Now I'm on the $20 a month ChatGPT plan. Does a lot for me. Removes a lot of manual labor out of Excel and Word and websites, all marketing, all kinds of things. Let's go with thinking, analyzing. So we'll come back when it's finished. All right, so give me the file. Let's go ahead and download that. Updated. Okay, awesome. Let's open that up. Okay, so you're going to see here now that I've now made those SKUs discontinued, the ones that weren't updated. And all the ones that were updated, 2025, they now say each, okay? So, looks like it did that well. I'm just going to go through, check. You know, there's a lot of SKUs, okay? But you can see that there's a lot of SKUs that my suppliers just not have. You know, some of it, a lot of it is just like different sizes, right? Okay, for whatever reason. All right, so now that's ready. So now, here is the kicker with all this. This is why you need to follow these steps properly, because now I need to import this file into LMN. Well, as soon as I do that, this item here is going to officially be updated today, because we are now updating that item to change the category to discontinued, which means as soon as I put this in, it's going to be updated as of today. Okay, so if you make any mistakes in this step, it's going to cause a big issue for you, because then you're going to have to do the step over and you're not going to have the benefit of knowing that this was in 2022. It's going to say 2025. And so there's going to have to be another workaround to deal with that. So make sure you follow these steps, okay? It's why I've changed this category to discontinued, because you're going to see in a second what I'm going to do with that. So come here, tree cleanup, grab the updated one, put it in. Oh, okay, give me there. 3,000 items to be. If you want wish, please split your import into several files, each with less than 1,000 lines. Okay, it looks like it's not 500, it's 1,000, and this is the first time I've dealt with it. So go back to ChatGPT. Please give me please limit each CSV to only 1,000 lines. Give me as many documents as needed to meet this requirement. Okay, so ChatGPT should handle this for me. We are going to double check the work on that though, and I'll come back to you as soon as we got it. Okay, it's saying it's got 4 documents for me, which looks about right because we're over 3,000 items. Before I look at the rest, I'm just going to check the first one. Oh, 1,001. Oh yeah, the first one's a header. Okay, looks like we should be good. Let's download all these. Go back to LMN. Make sure that import's not there. It is not there. The last one we did. We'll get the part 1. Successful import of 1,000 items. So let's go to the trees category. All the units should say each. Okay, why is there one with pieces? I'm going to tell you why. It says it's been updated today. Why? Because now this item is in discontinued and trees. So when we added the category here of discontinued, it's an additional category. It doesn't remove any categories as it's already in, which is why I have a discontinued category for this process, okay? So if I go to discontinued, I've got all these items here that now need to be deleted. And the only way to do that is click this, delete. Click delete. Click delete. And there's a lot of them, so you're going to be here for a little while, okay? Now, once that's all done, I just did the part 1. Okay, so they're all done. But I'm going to leave the category here. Okay, this was from something else I did. Okay, but now if I go back to trees, now you're going to see each one is each. They're only from the ones left over that I need. All the pieces ones are gone. All the SKUs that are no longer in the price list for 2025 are gone. And now these SKUs are ready for using in each estimate that we're going to do in 2025. Okay. Now, I wish there was a better way for this. Okay. But this is the way that I know that works. And if you know a different way or something else, feel free to send me a message or put something in the comments. I'd love to know your workarounds to make things work. I know I have a friend who in his company, they just simply have like 5 SKUs: shrub, grass, perennial, tree, vine, like just the category names, like these category names, and like perennial 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 3 gallon, shrub 5 gallon, 7 gallon, like just the standard sizes, and then an approximate price for each one. And that's what they put in their estimate. But on the project management side, they will put the order in based on the design. And there's so many ways that companies do stuff. But as I explained earlier in the video, when you're owner operator, you can kind of do things the way that you want, not really have to pay the consequences of anything. But in a company where you're delegating or your operations is run by a team, then 1 + 1's got to equal 2. Um, because if it doesn't, that's where you run into problems with people making mistakes. They forget stuff. Stuff's missing. I mean, one project I did like a couple years ago, I estimated the garden, and a day later or a couple days later, I went back to it to finish it. But something in my mind, I thought it was already done. Got the contract signed. I went to go export the work order and the PO for the garden, and there's no plants in the work area. And I was like, oh my God, I priced the garden without plants. And it was a big garden project. And so I tell the customer, hey, I forgot to add plants into this price. Here's the difference. Here's all the SKUs. I needed to prove that like I wasn't trying to cheat them. And then I had to add it in. And it was just something silly like that I did, not paying attention, and stuff like that can bite you in the ass. Luckily, they were great clients, and they treated us well, and so it all worked out in the end. But it doesn't always go that way. So I hope this helps you. Any questions? Like I said, shoot me a comment, send me a message. Happy to help. These are part of a series of videos that I'll be doing that kind of display how we do certain things in our company so that it can help you out in your business as you learn and grow and build your business. We'll see you later.